summer break saw all Formula One factories downing their toes and closing their doors for a 2-week period. But BMW announced that their doors would be staying firmly shut come the end of the season. The German manufacturer has announced it will pull out of the sport at the end of the year, surprising everyone.
Actually, I was informed by one of the motorsport internet websites first, and then by email.
Did Mario Tyson not think that it might be a good idea to call up his driver and tell him?
Yeah, but it was already later than someone published it in the website, so...
Meanwhile, team boss Mario Tyson says he's done all he can to ensure the team can be taken over for next season.
We have applied for next year in time on Monday. Now it's for the FIA to decide which teams will be accepted for next year.
So somebody else could step in and save the team?
Yes, that's true.
And whilst BMW prepare to bid farewell to Formula One, Renault are relieved to be here after escaping a race ban after this incident in Hungary. Stewards in Budapest banned them from racing this weekend, but the Court of Appeal ruled that Renault did not knowingly breach FIA regulations by sending out an unsafe car to rejoin the race. This gives Romain Grosjean his F1 debut in place of the sacked Nelson Piquet Jr., but being Alonso's teammate is never an easy task.
At the moment I see the positive side, means that Fernando is one of the best and maybe the best, and trying to get as close as him as possible will be very difficult.
The last time the Frenchman raced on a street circuit, he got a little too friendly with the Armco. Meanwhile, Renault's priority is holding on to Fernando Alonso, but that looks increasingly doubtful. One thing's for sure though, it won't be Nelson Piquet who gets back into the car.
To keep Formula One going in Renault, we need performing, and for me, keep performing means save the job to my people, and this is the priority, my people, you know. I not care about such spoiled people, fly around with the private jets shouting and really annoying.
Meanwhile, Jenson Button hopes his title challenge can get back on track after 3 races without a win. He thinks the team has discovered where they went wrong in recent development.
The things that we're testing are to try and get the tyres working, really. You know, that's been our issue. And it's not the weather's fault, it's our fault for not having a car that's competitive in cooler conditions. We just can't get the tyre working.
But staging a late fight back is McLaren, who put Lewis Hamilton back onto the top step of the podium. They've got a new front wing and a new floor, which they think could make them even stronger. But despite a mathematical possibility of winning the championship, Hamilton knows that realistically, it's all come too late.
You're known best for your last race, and so we want to finish on the high and be known for beating the World Championship winning team, whichever one it is this year. We want to be known for beating them at the end of the year and knowing that we were better.
Meanwhile, Sebastian Vettel was smiling after signing up for Red Bull until the end of 2011. But that smile turned into frustration in practice this morning when his engine failed, spilling oil all over the track. He'll be hoping to put his problems behind him though this afternoon.
It's a mix of the unsuccessful, the unfortunate and the untried after 10 races. Romain Grosjean just starting out in Formula One. Luca Badoer thought he'd finished instead of going racing for Ferrari. And Jaime Alguersuari still learning the ropes after making his debut last month. Nelson Piquet has only hard luck stories to dwell on. No points and no F1 drive anymore. Adrian Sutil crashed out winning the points in China. And again in Germany after a career best qualifying on row 4. Kazuki Nakajima's becoming a regular top 10 qualifier, but he's yet to achieve a top 8 finish. Giancarlo Fisichella's still chasing his first points for Force India. It was over and out for Sebastian Bourdais last month, Toro Rosso replacing him in frustration at his consistent lack of performance. And who'd have predicted Robert Kubica would be languishing in 17th? He was strongly fancied for a title push, but he's often struggled to get out of first qualifying. Rookie Sebastian Buemi bagged points in his first race. Nick Heidfeld still no nearer winning a Grand Prix after 160 races. In 12th place is Heikki Kovalainen, who's found his second season with McLaren a real struggle. And there's been little to cheer Fernando Alonso at Renault, summed up by his weekend in Hungary, a loose wheel undoing the race leader from pole.
Hey, come on, I tried to get Stefan up. The sporting comeback the world wanted to see, cancelled by a pain in the neck. It became clear Michael Schumacher couldn't fill in for Felipe Massa during his test in a 2007 Ferrari, a model with similar grip levels to his old championship-winning cars. Michael was suffering neck pains too intense to drive an F1 car for a whole Grand Prix. A serious motorbike accident in February had resulted in a tear to an occipital ligament which links the skull to the first vertebrae. It's an injury that takes a long time to heal.
It's very disappointing because, from all the rest of the body, my weight, everything went really fast because I always kept a certain fitness level, but the neck. And it's, when everything works well and goes in the right direction, but then there's one, and the most important thing that doesn't go, that's pretty sad and frustrating.
Do you feel you would have been competitive immediately in Formula One?
Put it this way, doing the running in Mugello, getting inside the car, driving the car, it was, I say, pretty natural. I didn't feel any problems to adapt to the speed and to find the rhythm, except having the permanent pain.
So if this last injury heals, can you not rule out returning to Formula One in the future?
If you don't mind, because I'm just in one of my probably toughest moments that I have faced in my career. Although I'm a retired race driver, still for a moment I felt like back alive, and now I had to cancel all this, and that's what I'm thinking about, and not what might happen in the future or not.
Michael's words hint both at the crushing disappointment of having to pull out and raise questions about whether he may yet come out of retirement and race again in F1. But for the time being, Luca Badoer stands in for Felipe Massa. Ferrari's test driver hasn't raced for nearly 10 years, but has been a loyal servant of the team, even driving a Ferrari at the opening ceremony of the 2006 Winter Olympics in Turin. Badoer has not been especially fast in practice and had a motorbike mishap of his own earlier in the weekend.
Ferrari told me that Valencia for me has to be a test. Obviously, I will do my best, I will try the best result that is possible. But if they choose me, it's because they hope that I can do a good job for the next race. So I'm very proud about this, and I will do my best.
Meantime, Felipe Massa is targeting Brazil in October as a possible race return. Rubens Barrichello visited him in Sao Paulo last week and is carrying a get-well-soon message for Felipe on his helmet.
Well, his memory is intact and his capacity is intact, but he cannot exercise still. So it's going to take a little while before he can do that, and then I'm sure he's going to drive a go-kart before he comes back to Formula One. And I'm not so sure there is enough time for him to do that. I hope it is. I hope he's back in Brazil, but I don't know. And we have the
Timo Glock Intense started the season like a train for Toyota, but little's gone to schedule since arriving in Europe. My Way continues to work as Kimi Raikkonen's apparent theme tune. He was a puzzle in the wet in Malaysia, but you can't argue with podium finishes in Monaco and Budapest, which leaves him 9th. Until the last 2 races, Lewis Hamilton's defence of his championship was a horror show, like his qualifying in Monaco. But McLaren's hard work has paid off at last, and he's set for a major say in the championship battle. Sadly, that's not the case for Felipe Massa, whose season could be over because of his freak accident in Hungary, just when Ferrari were looking their most competitive. The promise of Jarno Trulli's pole position in race 4 in Bahrain hasn't been fulfilled in familiar fashion. But Nico Rosberg never had it so good at Williams, with points in all but 2 races to lie 5th. Is it deja vu or a case of if only for Rubens Barrichello? Driving a quick car, but beaten by his teammate at Brawn, like he used to be at Ferrari, and feeling the world's against him.
They made me lose the race, basically.
Life just gets better for Sebastian Vettel. He was supreme in winning in China from his first Red Bull pole, and again at Silverstone. But his title challenge can ill afford mistakes like this one in Turkey. Across the Red Bull garage, teammate Mark Webber is in the form of his life, an F1 winner at last. And in an Ashes summer, the Aussie's best place to take the fight to the Englishman out in front. From the season's opener in Melbourne until race 7 in Turkey, Jenson Button could hardly stop winning. Since then, he's been off the boil, and he knows